Hi, my name is Shilan Patel and I'm from Duke University. I'm also a developer for the Internet to Grouper project. This is the end users track of the Grouper training, and this is part 2 of the new UI training. These are the topics that I'll be covering in this part. This video focuses on operations that can be done on groups, so most of this video is going to be doing demos. I'll show you how to view a group, how to create a new group, how to add members to a group, removing all members, editing an existing group, deleting a group, and then I'll show how to create composite groups. For instance, you can create an intersection or a complement. Then I'll show you how to export members from a group, how to import members to a group, how to copy a group to a new folder, how to move groups to a new folder, and then how to view the audit log on a group to see what actions have been taken on it. So this is the home page of the new UI. The first thing I'm going to do is navigate to an existing group using the tree control on the left. So under Applications, under Demo Application, there's a group called Users. I'll click on that. And now you can see my display here, and the main section has been updated to show this group. You can see the folder hierarchy up at the top, and these are clickable, so I can go to those folders. The description of the users group is located right here. There's a more link here that I can click on to view more information about this group, like when it was created, who created it, when it was last edited, who last edited it, the type of group. This is a group as opposed to a role, whether this group is a composite, and so forth. Here's a button to add members to the group. There are more actions over here. You can view the members. There's a privileges tab. There's a tab for more stuff over here. I'll be going into more detail on all of this in this video and in the next video. So the next thing I want to do is create a new group. So there are a couple different ways you can create a group. One way is to click on this button up here, create new group. By default, it's going to populate the folder with the folder that I was currently in, but I can change that. But I'll leave it with that one for now. I can set the group name. I'll call it demo-group. By default, the group ID is going to be populated with the same value as the group name, but I can click on this checkbox here to edit that. The group ID is a unique identifier for the group, and it should be short and simple, and it might have character restrictions. This is the value that external systems probably end up using, so it's something that should probably never change. Then I can set a description, group for demo purposes. There's a link here for advanced properties. So the first advanced property is whether you want to assign privileges for everyone. So as an example, if I select read, then that means that everyone would have the ability to see the members of this group. And that's just not people that are in the group, but everyone that can basically log into this interface can see the members of the group. Let me uncheck that. The next advanced property is the type of group, whether it's a group or a role. A role is basically the same thing as a group, except it can also hold permission information centrally for the application. So if you're going to do any sort of permission assignments, then you might want to make this a role. Otherwise, a group is probably what you want. And the type of group can also be changed later on. So you can start off with a group, and then if you decide that it needs to be a role, then it could be changed later on as well. So I'll leave it as a group, and I'll save this. Now up here I get a success message, and I get taken to the group that just got created. Demo group for demo purposes. So the next thing I want to do is add a member to a group. So I'll click on the Add Members button here. say I want to add John. I'll search for John and it shows all the matches. Maybe I wanted to add John Collins, so I'll click on that. You can, by default, it's going to assign the default privilege, which is adding the member to the group. If I select custom privileges, then it expands out all the options. So by default, it would add the person as a member of the group, but I could also assign privileges. So I could make John Collins an admin of the group, along with making him a member of the group, or I can give him update access to the group. I can also unselect member and just give him update access to the group. Let me just make him a member of the group. And then I can click on add here. And now if I look at the bottom, you can see John Collins is now a member of the group. Let me find another member now. So I'll search for John again. Let's go with John Bush this time. Again, I'll just add him as a member of the group. And so now you can see the two members here. Note that there's also a link here to search for an entity. So if I click on that, it brings up a pop-up. And this gives you more flexibility. For instance, you could select the data source for the member. So if you have multiple data sources, then you could limit what gets queried when doing this. So the next thing I'll do is show how to remove all members from the group. So that's located under More Actions, Remove All Members. It gives me a confirmation and I can click Remove All Members, and now the group is empty. I can also edit the group. So under More Options, Edit Group, or More Actions. So say if I want to change the description, I'll just add a 2 at the end, save, and then you can see the description has been updated and there's a success message at the top. Finally, let me go ahead and delete this group. So under More Actions, Delete Group, and I can confirm. And now the group is deleted with the success message at the top, and I'm taken to the parent folder. Next, I'm going to show how to create composite groups. So I've got this user group that I was showing before that contains a bunch of staff members and students. Say if I wanted just the staff members in a separate group. So there's an all staff members group that's already been created. So what I can do is intersect that group with this users group. So let me show you how that can be done. So first I would create a new group. So I can again use the Create New Group button up here, or I can click on More Actions and click on the Create New Group from there. So let me call this users-staff, description users staff. Save that. And so now I want to make this into a composite. So under More Actions, I can click on Edit Composite. Click on Yes. So the first factor would be the users group, and make this an intersection. And the second factor would be the all staff group. And then I click Save, and so now I've got all the users of the demo application that are staff. So now what if I wanted all the users that are students? So let me go back to the demo application folder, create a new group, users-students, click Save, and again make this into a composite. So now there are probably two ways I can do this. I can either do an intersection with the users group and the all students group, which one exists in the same folder as the all staff group, The other way I can do it is, since I know that the users group only has staff and students, I can do a complement. So I can say all the users minus all the members in the user staff group. So users complement user staff. Save that, and now this group would be all the users that are students. So if I go to the users group, you can see that there are 84 members. Then if I go to the user staff group, there are 12 members. In the user students group, there are 72 members. So the 72 plus 12 is 84. And if you look at the users group, you can see all the memberships are direct. And then if we go to any of the other two groups, you can see that the memberships are indirect because these are composites. So the next thing that I'll do is export the members of the users group. So I'll show you how to do exporting. So I'll click on More Actions, Export Members, and then either I can export just the member IDs or I can export all the member data. So let me do all the member data. Click Export. And this just produces a CSV file, so it would nicely open up in Excel. And then all the member data is exported, so their member IDs, their names, descriptions, and so forth, whatever other information that that you have configured in your grouper environment. I'm back on the home screen now, and next I'll show how to import members. So there are a few ways you can do this. If you're only going to import members to one group, you can go to that group and click on More Actions, Import Members. You can also go to the group and click on Add Members, and then there's an option to import a list of members. But what I'm going to show you now is how you can import members to multiple groups at the same time. So first of all, I'm going to create a couple of new groups. So within the demo application folder, I will click on Create New Group. The first group I'll call Test 1. And I'll create a second group called Test 2. And so now to add members to both groups, what I can do is click on this arrow here, click on Add Members to Group, and then I can find the first group, and then I can click on Add Another Group. And so now the members that I add are going to be added to both of these groups. So to add members, there are multiple ways to do that. You can search for the members, you can copy and paste a list of IDs, or you can import a file. So first let me do this through searching. So let me find a couple of Johns, John Benson and John Blair. And now if I click Add Member, it'll add both of these Johns to both of these groups. And so here's the confirmation that the import was for these two groups. And both of them started off with a membership count of 0 and then ended up with a membership count of 2. And so now if I go to the Test 1 group, I can see both members. If I go to the Test 2 group, again, I could see both members. So let me do the import again. Again, both groups, Test 1 and test2. And this time I'll add member IDs. So I'll add John Brooks, which is JOBR, and John Collins, which is JOCO. You can click on Validate Entities just to verify them, and then if I do that, the names end up showing up below, and I can click on Add Members. So again, I get the confirmation, and then if I go to one of the groups, I can see now that there are 4 members. Next, say if I were doing this, but I added a bad member ID. So import member IDs, and I put in something bogus. Then when I validate it, it would show me an error at the top saying I added bad IDs or identifiers. So the other option is to import a file. And so when importing a file, you can end up searching and choosing a file. It could be formatted in a couple different ways. The simple way is just to have a list of the entity IDs or identifiers. And if there are groups, then you could have the ID path for the groups if you're adding a group as a member of this group. You can also have a CSV file that has the source ID and the entity ID or identifier. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention before is there's also an option to replace the existing members with what you're importing. So I'm back at the home page now, and next I want to show how to copy groups. So say if I want to copy the users group from the demo application folder to the demo application 2 folder. So I'll click on users, under more actions, copy group, and I can specify the target folder. So I'll choose the demo application 2. And then you could select how you want the copy to be done, whether you want to copy attributes, whether you want to copy the members of the groups, the privileges on the groups, and then there are a couple of other options here. So say if the users group is a member of other groups, then should the newly copied group become a member of those groups? And the same thing with the privileges. If the users group has, say, admin privilege on another group, then should the new group have admin privileges on that group? So I'll select all the options and hit copy. And I get a message saying that the group was copied and I'm taken to the new group, so the users group under demo application 2. Next, let me show how to move a group. So say if I wanted to move the test1 group over to the demo application 2 folder. So I can click on test1, under more actions, click on move group, and now here I can specify the new folder, so demo application 2. And then I have this option to set alternate names. Basically, if that's selected, then the group after it's moved will have an alternate name set to the name that it was previously. So I'll click on move. It takes me to the group, and now it's under demo application 2. If I click on more, I can see that the ID path now is apps::demo application 2 test1, but the alternate ID path is apps::demo application test1. And finally, the last demo I want to do for this training video is viewing the audit log. So under more actions, I can click on view audit log. And this shows me all the actions that have been taken on this group test1. So the last thing that I did was a move. Before that I added members. Before that I created the group. So you can see when each operation was done, who did it, what interface they used to do it, and what the action was. I can also show extended results, which shows me a little bit more information, like how long it took to performed the operation, the server that it was done on, the IP address, and so forth. And if a lot of actions have been done, I can also filter it by date. So I can filter it between two dates, or before a date, or since a date, and so forth. So that's all for this tutorial. You can click on the quiz link in the video description to reinforce your knowledge of this topic. And here are some additional links for more information. Thanks.